guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell from the title of this video, you know exactly what I am going to be talking about today. So I have been on YouTube for the past 3 years, and yeah, I know I'm not doing that well, only because I just was not consistent from the beginning. It was a bit tough for me to get used to being in front of the camera and talking to myself. So over the period of time I've been on YouTube, I have been influenced by a lot of other makeup YouTubers by these products. So being on YouTube, you know that a lot of other makeup YouTubers tend to hype up a lot of products. It just tempts you and you end up buying these products as well. Now, a lot of these products that I purchased, for some reason I either didn't like it or it didn't work out for me because of my skin tone. So I will get into these products and I will just let you know if I liked it, why I didn't like it, or I don't know, whatever else. So let's start off by some makeup palettes. And I know a lot of you might be shocked that I don't like these palettes, but it is what it is. So you know, way back when Coastal Scents was the rave, everyone was talking about the 28 Neutral palette by Coastal Scents, and this palette mainly have a lot of neutral colors. They are pretty, but these colors just do not work out for me. It's a bit too dry and the eyeshadows itself does not blend very well. You know, when you start buying the very expensive products and they tend to apply very smooth and very buttery, and the pigments is great, you can't seem to go back to, you know, eyeshadows like these. These eyeshadows are very dry and they just don't blend that well. The colors are not so great either. So for that reason, I do not like this palette, and I tried using it, but as you can tell, a lot of these colors are still new and it's just untouched. Yeah, I don't know if you can see how some of these colors are still like brand new. It's like, not this one, like it's untouched. Yeah, see, so for that reason I'm not a fan of this, and now I just don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So the next palette I have here is by Coastal Scents again, and this is the 252 Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette. Now this one has three palettes of colors, and again, for some reason I just do not like the formula of these eyeshadow, the blendability of these eyeshadow. The colors is not all that pigmented. This is the third color palette in this one. Now, the colors are pretty. I must admit that they are pretty, but again, they're just not that pigmented and it's not that great. So for that reason, I do not like those particular palettes from Coastal Scents. And since I am not a fan of the Coastal Scents eyeshadow palettes anymore, I just do not order, you know, anything from Coastal Scents anymore. I mean, the makeup brushes are good, but besides that, the palettes are not so great. Yeah, so I'm stuck with another palette that I do not like. Next, I have the Urban Decay Vice palette. I'm not sure if this is the first one or the third one. I think this is the third one, and this is the Vice 2. These palettes I am definitely not a fan of. I tried using them and we all know the colors in this palette. These colors are just not wearable for me on an everyday basis or even when I'm going out. Like, these are just not colors that I would gravitate towards. So for that reason too, it's just been sitting here and not using it. The third palette, yeah, this is the Vice 3 palette. This one came with the little pouch that you can, you know, use for anything. As you can see, I still have everything just the way it came. Yeah, and these are the colors in the Vice 3 palette. As you can see, I still have the film over the glass. These colors are pretty. I must admit they are pretty, but they're just not appealing to me and I do not gravitate towards these colors. So there's another palette that I wasted money on. Okay, so moving on to some foundation. I have two foundation here that I am just not happy with. So the first one is by Dior, and it's this one. It's the Dior Skin Nude Air Ultra Fluid Serum Foundation with SPF 25. So this particular foundation is very thin and it's very more on the watery side, and the coverage is not all that great. To me, this sort of dries to a sort of powdery finish. It doesn't give me a lot of coverage, and I like a foundation with a lot more coverage because I have, you know, like dark scars where I broke out, and you know, I need foundation that actually covers those types of marks. So for this foundation, this one did not do the job for me, and yeah, I'm stuck with it. Okay, so the next two I have here is from Marc Jacobs. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with my videos and you know that I am a fan of Marc Jacobs. I do love their products, but for some reason this did not cut it for me. So the Perfecting Coconut Primer, to me this is a bit too liquidy. I like more of a silicone base primer. This way it's sort of creating a barrier between your skin and the umpteen amount of makeup you're about to apply on your skin. And this one just makes my skin a lot more greasy. So I have combination skin, I have oily T-zone, and when I use this primer, it just makes my skin a lot more greasy looking, which for that reason I don't like. And then I have the foundation that goes with it, and this is the Remarkable Full Cover Foundation. What can I say about this foundation? This foundation, I just don't like it. For some reason, I can't seem to pinpoint what it is I don't like about this foundation, but I just don't like it. So next I have the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. Now luckily I did not purchase the bigger size. This is just the mini size. You know, when you're checking out, Sephora has all those extra products along the checkout line. So this is where I picked up this one from, and good thing I did not pick up the actual size because I do not like this primer. This primer leaves sort of a whitish film on your skin, and for some reason I don't like the white film that it leaves behind. And the texture of this veil primer, I just find myself having to like rub it into my skin, and for that reason I don't really like it. As I said, I like the silicone based primers. Okay, so next is some concealer, and these ones are by Maybelline. I have this one. It's the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Spot. So I purchased this one specifically to cover the dark spots that I have from my breakouts, but this just does not seem to do anything. And then I have the concealers, and I know a lot of YouTubers do swear by this concealer, and I know a lot of them love this concealer, but this concealer did nothing for me. I can still see my dark circles showing through the concealer when I use these ones. So for that reason, I don't like those concealer. I have two mascaras here, and I know some of you are going to be very shocked that I do not like these mascara. So the first one I have here is by Benefit. The one is a bit curved, which I don't know, this just did nothing for me. I wasn't satisfied with this mascara. And the next mascara, again, I think many of you is going to be shocked, is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I don't know if it was just this particular tube, but this mascara was just too dry. It did nothing for me as well. So for that, I do not like this mascara. Okay, so next I'm moving on to some eyebrow products, and this particular eyebrow cream palette, whatever you want to call it, is by White Lightning, and it's the Brow Bar To Go. I actually saw Nicole Guerrero talking about this one, and at one point of time she swear by this product. So that was the reason why it is I decided to purchase it, but this product did nothing for my brows. And the next product that I dislike is this eyebrow palette by Benefit. This one is in the shade medium. This is the Brow Zing Brow Shaping Kit. As you can see, one side is the wax and the other side is the color. I do not like the consistency of the wax and then applying the powder over the wax. To me, this was just like a hot mess. So for that reason, I didn't like this brow product. And as we all know, Benefit just came out with their new brow line again. And some of the products are basically the same. Like, I mean, it's just different packaging and maybe a different formula of the same product, but they did come out with the same brow kit and products that I haven't gotten my hands on yet, but I will. But I'm definitely not gonna get this one from the Benefit line because it's gonna be the same thing. And the next product is by Benefit again, and this is the Gimme Brow Gel. Now I know a lot of you are familiar with this one, and this one is in the shade Medium Deep. This is supposed to volumize your eyebrows and, you know, like sort of like add fibers to your eyebrows to give you the illusion of a fuller eyebrows. But with someone like myself who has very scanty eyebrows, this did nothing for me. So this is another product that I dislike. So the next product is another eyebrow product, and this one is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I know some of you are gonna be like, what? Why doesn't she like this one? But this one is the one with the angled tip. I have seen many videos on Instagram showing this product, and every single time I would see those videos and how easy they make it look applying the brows with this particular one, it just gets to me because for some reason this one just does not apply the way I see it's being applied on Instagram, and the eyebrows look so beautiful, so full, everything, but this one just does not work for me. Okay, so the next few products I have here is, I know a lot of you are gonna say, what? Again? But this is the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. This, guys, this just came off too powdery and too chalky on me. And the shade is just wrong. This shade just did nothing for me. So this did not work good as a bronzer for me. For that reason, I did not like it, but maybe I can use this as a transition eyeshadow in the future. Maybe I can use it for that instead. And the next one by Benefit again is the Rocketeer Blush, and it looks like this. I do not like the shimmer that this gave off on my skin. So this is what the Rocketeer blush looks like on my skin tone. It's not that appealing. I just do not like this on me. So the next product is by Tarte, and this one, I'm pretty sure you can remember this one. This one was from a recent haul. I think it was in my November haul when there was the 20% discount. This one I picked up in the eyeliner as I was checking out again. Shades in this palette just did nothing for me. They're just not appealing on me. I did do a makeup look with this. The light colors tend to be a little bit too chalky on my skin tone, and they just didn't apply smooth the way I expected it to apply. And for that reason, I'm not a fan of it, but I'll still keep it, you know. So the next product I have here is by Urban Decay, and it's the Baked Bronzer. It's this one. This one is in the shade Gilded. This particular bronzer has a lot of shimmer and gold in it, and for that reason I do not like, you know, the parameters of my face to be shimmering or highlighted with gold flecks, if you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so for that reason, I didn't like this particular bronzer for that reason. The next bronzer I have is by Too Faced, and it's the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Matte Bronzing Powder. And this is it. This one did nothing for me only because this one was a bit too powdery and too chalky. So this one came off on my skin as a bit muddy looking, and I didn't like that about this one. So I'm stuck with another bronzer that I may not use, but again, this is good for my transition shade. Yeah, so I think I might try it as that. Okay, the next product I have is by Too Faced again, and it's the Absolutely Invisible Candlelight Highlighter. So this is supposed to be a soft, illuminating, translucent powder. In here, there are some sort of tiny shimmering flecks, and this really did nothing for me. It did not come off too well on my skin tone. As I'm gonna swatch it, and you can see it just tend to look a lot more powdery instead of highlighting for me. So for that reason, I didn't like this product either. So next I have two Dior eyeshadow palettes, and the first one I have is the 234, the Pastel palette. This one I'm not too happy with the shades. They're very shimmery, but they are not very pigmented. The colors, I can't see myself wearing these colors. But the palette is a pretty palette. It is pretty, but I just can't see myself wearing these colors, and I have no idea why I actually purchased this palette. So for that reason, that is one that I do not like. So the next one is number 754. This is Rosy Tan, and it looks like this. It's a bit broken, but this one, I must say, the colors is pretty, but for some reason, I don't know, this just did not work, you know. Like, I did not like the formulation of these and the way it applied on my eyes, but maybe I would give this another try and just see. But I really didn't like these palettes, and for that reason, I really stayed away from Dior eyeshadow palettes, and I just never purchased anymore. So the next eyeshadow quad I have here is by Bare Minerals, and this eyeshadow quad is called The Truth. It looks like this. Now, I saw Makeup by Tiffany D use this particular quad, and the colors did look good on her, but as I figured, I mean, I know she's white, I'm not, and you know, these colors tend to show up a lot better on her skin tone. So when I applied these shadows, it didn't look the same way like it looked on her. So here's another quad that I am stuck with. Okay, so next I have two, what are these? I think these are like the cream blushes. And one is a cream blush and one is a cream highlighter. These are the NARS stick. This one looks like this. It's pink. This is pretty. I must admit, this is pretty. But I did not like how this looked on my brown skin. This is what G-Spot looks like, and I'm not a fan of this cream product, but it is pretty. Maybe it would apply better as a lip product instead, like a lip stain, which is what I might use it as. And the next one is in the shade Copacabana. This is supposed to be like a highlighting shade. How am I supposed to apply this on my skin and use this? This is a serious cream product. I don't think I can use this as a cream highlighter. This just is not a good product at all. Okay, the next one I have here is by NARS, and it's the Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder. I know this one was a big thing on YouTube. It's the translucent powder. I know everybody and their grandma was using this one. I just wasn't a fan of this. I started using this a lot. This one just did nothing for me. I don't understand why it is I actually purchased this one. Now, since I am a brown tone, it's better for us brown skin tone people to use like more of a yellow based setting powder, or even this one by Laura Mercier. It's not white, but it's not yellow as well. But this is the perfect translucent setting powder there is. And this one is just bad, really bad. I don't like it. Okay, so the next one is by Hourglass, and it's this one is the Modernist eyeshadow palette in the shade Monochrome, and it looks like this. And the reason why I dislike this palette is because the eyeshadows are very powdery. They are not blendable. The pigments in this is not that great, and I just didn't like the way these eyeshadow was blending on me. So the next product is by Hourglass, and it's the Ambient Lighting Bronzer, and this is in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. So this is another product that was made popular on YouTube, and this just did not cut it for me. This one has a lot of shimmery kind of effect, and maybe I didn't break the top coat. Maybe that was the problem. I tried using it and I didn't get the effect of a bronzer that I expected it to be, but maybe I didn't break the top coat. So this is how the bronzer would look on me. It just gave me sort of more of a shimmer instead of a bronze effect. Yeah, so this one basically did nothing for me as well, but it is pretty. I think that's the reason why it is I bought it, because it's pretty. Okay, so the next item I have here, this is actually a brow product, and honestly I don't know where this came from. I think this was part of the White Lightning brow product, but I just don't like applying powders on my eyebrow for some reason. Like during the course of the day, it just fades, and you know, it just doesn't look good. So this is another product that I just didn't like. So the next 3 products is by Hourglass, and it's the blushes. So these are the little Hourglass blushes, and this one is in Diffused Heat. And this is what this shade looked like. These blushes tend to go on very powdery. It doesn't sit well on the skin. So for that reason, I didn't like it. And the next one I have here is Mood Exposure. This one is another one that these blushes just don't sit that well on the skin. They look a bit too chalky and too powdery. I guess most of Hourglass products tend to be powdery and chalky. Okay, so the next one I have is by Makeup Forever, and it's the High Definition Powder. It looks like this, and it's white actually. So this is supposed to be a setting powder. It's a micro finish powder. This one, again, I did not like this one because even though it was fine milled, for some reason that powder just did not sit well on my skin and it didn't set. So the next one I have is by Bare Minerals, and it's the Bare Minerals Original SPF 15 Foundation. So this is in the shade Medium Tan, and this one is a bit too dark for my skin tone. This would actually work perfectly in the summertime when I'm actually more tan, but again, I didn't like how this sit on my skin. And okay guys, so the final product that I deliberately left for last is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now I know everybody on YouTube loved this product. This one was raved by every single person, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. This palette was just wrong. It was just wrong for my skin tone. It was just wrong for me. It just was a bit too, it came off a bit too muddy looking on my skin. It didn't blend well. You know the shade that everybody seemed to like, the banana shade? This one, this was just horrible. Horrible for me as a setting powder under my eyes. I couldn't use it. I couldn't even use the different contour shades. Like, I don't know, they were just totally wrong for me. I did try using the banana powder and the contour powder, but again, this, I don't know, this was just so wrong on all levels for me. Okay guys, so those were the products that was raved on YouTube, that everybody tend to made into a big thing. And of course I was convinced that these products are good, and I went out and purchased them myself. And now I just do not like those products. They just didn't work for me. Okay guys, so that's the end of this video. Now I know a lot of these products were good products. I'm not trying to say that they were terrible products in any form. These are just products that did not work for me. I have a lot of other products that did work for me and I really do love. And maybe I can do a follow-up video showing you the products that I do love. Yeah guys, so with that said, I hope you really enjoyed this thumbs down video, and yeah, so I guess I'll see you in my next one. Bye for now. Bye. The reason why I'm laughing guys is because I have a little sniper here that's waiting right on the side, so every product that I do not like, she is just collecting. Anyway, moving on. So the next product that I do not like, no, I'm not giving you this one.
Okay.